Hello, my name is Jiso and I'm reading Shōbōgenzō, and we are on chapter 10, Shoaku makusa, not doing wrongs. Sho means many or miscellaneous, aku means wrong or bad, maku means not or don't, and sa means to do. So Shoaku makusa means not doing wrong. These words are quoted from a short poem called The Seven Buddhas, Universal Precept. Don't do wrong, do right. Then our minds become pure naturally. This is the teaching of the many Buddhas. This poem tells us how closely the teaching of Buddhism is related to morals. In this chapter, Master Dōgen teaches us the Buddhist theory of morality. Morality or ethics is, by its nature, a very practical problem. But most people are prone to forget the practical character of morality and usually only discuss it with words or as an abstract theory. However, talking about morality is not the same as being moral. Morality is just doing right or not doing wrong. Here, Master Dōgen explains real morality, quoting an interesting story about Master Chokodorin in a famous Chinese poet called Haku Kaiori. The Eternal Buddha says, not to commit wrongs, to practice the many kinds of right, naturally purifies the mind. This is the teaching of the Buddhas. This teaching, as the universal precept of the ancestral patriarchs, the seven Buddhas, has been authentically transmitted from former Buddhas to later Buddhas, and later Buddhas have received its transmission from former Buddhas. It is not only of the seven Buddhas, it is the teaching of all of the Buddhas. We should consider the principle and master it in practice. These words of Dharma of the seven Buddhas always sound like words of Dharma of the seven Buddhas. What has been transmitted and been received one-to-one is just clarification of the real situation at this concrete place. This already is the teaching of the Buddhas. It is the teaching, practice, and experience of hundreds, thousands, and tens of thousands of Buddhas. In regard to the wrongs which we are discussing now, among rightness, wrongness, and indifference, there is wrongness. Its essence is just non-appearance. The essence of rightness, the essence of indifference, and so on are also non-appearance, are the state without excess, and are real form. At the same time, at each concrete place, these three properties include innumerable kinds of dharmas. In wrongs, there are similarities and differences between wrong in this world and wrong in other worlds. There are similarities and differences between former times and latter times. There are similarities and differences between wrong in the heavens above and wrong in the human world. How much greater is the difference between moral wrong, moral right, and moral indifference in Buddhism and in the secular world? Right and wrong are time. Time is not right or wrong. Right and wrong are the Dharma. The Dharma is not right or wrong. When the Dharma is in balance, wrong is in balance. When the Dharma is in balance, right is in balance. This being so, when we learn the supreme state of Anuttara Samyuk Sambodhi, when we hear the teachings, do training, and experience the effect, it is profound, it is distant, and it is fine. We hear of this supreme state of Bodhi, sometimes following good counselors and sometimes following sutras. At the beginning, the sound of it is, do not commit wrongs. If it does not sound like, do not commit wrongs, it is not the Buddha's right Dharma. It may be the teaching of demons. Remember, teaching that sounds like, do not commit wrongs, is the Buddha's right Dharma. This teaching, do not commit wrongs, was not intentionally initiated and then intentionally maintained in its present form by the common man. When we hear teaching that has naturally become the preaching of Bodhi, it sounds like this. What sounds like this is speech, which is the supreme state of Bodhi in words. It is Bodhi speech already, and so it speaks Bodhi. When it becomes the preaching of the supreme state of Bodhi, and when we are changed by hearing it, we hope not to commit wrongs. We continue enacting not to commit wrongs, and wrongs go on not being committed. In this situation, the power of practice is instantly realized. This realization is realized on the scale of the whole earth, the whole world, the whole of time, and the whole of Dharma. And the scale of this realization is the scale of not committing. For people of just this reality, at the moment of just this reality, even if they live at a place and come and go at a place where they could commit wrongs, even if they face circumstances in which they could commit wrongs, and even if they seem to mix with friends who do commit wrongs, wrongs can never be committed at all. The power of not committing is realized, and so wrongs cannot voice themselves as wrongs, and wrongs lack an established set of tools. There is the Buddhist truth of taking up at one moment and letting go at one moment. At just this moment, the truth is known that wrong does not violate a person, and the truth is clarified that a person does not destroy wrong. When we devote our whole mind to practice, and when we devote the whole body to practice, there is 80 or 90% realization of not committing wrongs just before the moment, and there is the fact of not having committed just behind the brain. When you practice by garnering your own body and mind, and when you practice by garnering the body and mind of anyone, the power of practicing with the 4 elements and the 5 aggregates is realized at once. But the 4 elements and 5 aggregates do not taint the self. All things, even the 4 elements and 5 aggregates of today, carry on being practiced, and the power which the 4 elements and 5 aggregates have as practice in the present moment makes the 4 elements and 5 aggregates, as described above, into practice. When we cause even the mountains, rivers, and the earth, and the sun, moon, and stars to do practice, the mountains, rivers, and the earth, the sun, moon, and stars in their turn make us practice. This is not a one-time I, it is vigorous I's at many times. Because those times are moments in which the I is present as vigorous I's, they make the Buddhas and the patriarchs practice, make them listen to the teachings, and make them experience the effect. The Buddhas and the patriarchs have never made the teachings, practice, and experience tainted, and so the teachings, practice, and experience have never hindered the Buddhas and the patriarchs. For this reason, when teachings, practice, and experience compel the Buddhist patriarchs to practice, there are no Buddhas or patriarchs who flee, before the moment or after the moment, in the past, present, or future. Ginger tea. Lovely. In walking, standing, sitting, or lying down through the 12 hours, we should carefully consider the fact that when living beings are becoming Buddhas and becoming patriarchs, we are becoming Buddhist patriarchs, even though this becoming does not hinder the state of a Buddhist patriarch which has always belonged to us. In becoming a Buddhist patriarch, we do not destroy the living being, do not detract from it, and do not lose it. Nevertheless, we have got rid of it. We cause right and wrong, cause and effect to practice, but this does not mean disturbing or intentionally producing cause and effect. Cause and effect itself, at times, makes us practice. The state in which the original features of this cause and effect have already become conspicuous is not committing. It is the state without appearance. It is the state without constancy. It is not being unclear, and it is not falling down, because it is the state in which body and mind have fallen away. When we investigate them like this, wrongs are realized as having become completely the same as not committing. Aided by this realization, we can penetrate the not committing of wrongs, and we can realize it decisively by sitting. Just at this moment, when reality is realized as the not committing of wrongs at the beginning, middle, and end, wrongs do not arise from causes and conditions. They are nothing other than just not committing. Wrongs do not vanish due to causes and conditions. They are nothing other than just not committing. If wrongs are in balance, all dharmas are in balance. Those who recognize that wrongs arise from causes and conditions, but do not see that these causes and conditions and they themselves are the reality of not committing, are pitiful people. The seeds of Buddhahood arise from conditions, and this being so, conditions arise from the seeds of Buddhahood. It is not that wrongs do not exist. They are nothing other than not committing. It is not that wrongs exist. They are nothing other than not committing. Wrongs are not immaterial. They are not committing. Wrongs are not material. They are not committing. Wrongs are not committing. They are nothing other than not committing. Similarly, for example, spring pines are neither non-existence nor existence. They are not committing. An autumn chrysanthemum is neither existence nor non-existence. It is not committing. The Buddhas are neither existence nor non-existence. They are not committing. Such things as an outdoor pillar, a stone lantern, a whisk, and a staff are neither existence nor non-existence. They are not committing. The self is neither existence nor non-existence. It is not committing. Learning in practice like this is the realized universe, and it is universal realization. We consider it from the standpoint of the subject, and we consider it from the standpoint of the object. When the state has become like this already, even the regret that I have committed what was not to be committed is also nothing other than the energy arising from the effort not to commit. But to purport, in that case, that if not committing is so we might deliberately commit wrongs, it's like walking north and expecting to arrive at the southern country of Etsu. The relation between wrongs and not committing is not only a well looking at a donkey, it is the well looking at the well, the donkey looking at the donkey, a human being looking at a human being, and a mountain looking at a mountain. Because there is preaching of this principle of mutual accordance, wrongs are not committing. Right. I think I'll leave it there. Thank you for listening.